Have you ever met someone who seems genuinely happy? Not because their life is perfect, not because they never struggle, but because they carry a kind of peace that many people secretly wish they had. And maybe you've wondered what their secret is. More money? More luck? Better circumstances? But psychology tells us something surprising. Happiness isn't something lucky people find. It's something ordinary people build through small decisions, small habits, and small moments repeated every day. Because most happiness doesn't come from huge achievements. It comes from how you live when nothing special is happening. And the happiest people understand that. They don't wait for life to become perfect. They create little moments of peace inside imperfect days. The first habit they practice is protecting their mornings. Most people wake up and immediately reach for their phone. Notifications, social media, news, messages. Before the day even begins, their mind is already crowded. But happy people create space. Even if it's only 5 minutes, they allow themselves to wake up slowly, to breathe, to enjoy silence. Because how you start the morning often shapes how you experience the rest of the day. A noisy beginning creates a noisy mind, but a peaceful beginning creates clarity, and clarity creates peace. The second habit is letting small frustrations go. Life is full of annoying moments, traffic, delays, misunderstandings, unexpected problems. Most people carry these things much longer than necessary. They replay them, think about them, allow them to ruin the rest of the day. But happier people understand something important. Not everything deserves your energy. Some things are simply too small to carry. They don't ignore problems. They just refuse to turn every inconvenience into suffering. Because peace is often found in what you choose to release, not what you choose to hold on to. The third habit is always having something to look forward to. Many people live on autopilot. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat, and eventually life begins to feel heavy. Not because something terrible happened, but because nothing exciting exists ahead. Happy people break that cycle. They create small moments of anticipation. Maybe it's their favorite coffee, a walk in the evening, dinner with someone they love, reading a book, or simply enjoying a quiet hour alone. It doesn't have to be something big, because the mind needs hope. It needs something positive waiting in the future. Even small joys can make difficult days feel lighter. And sometimes happiness isn't found in extraordinary moments. It's found in having something simple to smile about. Something small, something meaningful. Something that reminds you life is more than just surviving. The fourth habit happy people practice is limiting comparison. Comparison is everywhere. Someone has more money. Someone has a better relationship. Someone seems more successful. And without realizing it, many people spend their lives measuring themselves against everyone else. But happiness doesn't grow through comparison. It grows through clarity. Happy people understand that somebody else's journey is not a measurement of their own. They don't force fake positivity. They don't pretend everything is perfect. They simply stop giving unnecessary attention to things that steal their peace. Because the more you focus on what others have, the less grateful you become for what you already have. And gratitude is one of the strongest foundations of happiness. The fifth habit is taking care of their body. Not because they want perfection, not because they want to impress others, but because they understand that the mind and body are deeply connected. When the body becomes stagnant, the mind often follows. Stress feels heavier, negative thoughts become louder, everything seems more difficult. That's why happy people keep moving. Not necessarily intense workouts, not hours in the gym. Sometimes it's just a walk, stretching, dancing while cooking, or spending a few minutes outside. Because movement changes energy, it clears mental fog, reduces stress, and reminds the brain that life is still moving forward. One of the biggest misconceptions about happiness is believing that happy people feel motivated all the time. They don't. They also have bad days. They feel tired. They experience disappointment. They lose motivation. But they don't depend on feelings to take care of themselves. They depend on habits. Because feelings change, but habits create stability, and stability creates peace. Think about someone you know who always seems calm. Chances are their life isn't easier than yours. They've experienced pain, stress, heartbreak, and uncertainty. But somewhere along the way, they learn that happiness isn't something you wait for. It's something you practice, little by little, day after day, not perfectly, but consistently, and that's what makes the difference. The sixth habit happy people practice is being careful with their attention, because attention is one of the most valuable things we have, and yet many people give it away without thinking, to endless news, to arguments online, to negativity, to people who drain them, and then they wonder why they feel exhausted. Happy people understand that not everything deserves their focus. They don't try to follow every trend. They don't react to every opinion. They don't allow every problem in the world to live inside their mind. Because attention is like sunlight. Whatever you give it to will grow. If you constantly feed fear, fear grows. If you constantly feed comparison, insecurity grows. But if you feed peace, gratitude, and meaningful relationships, happiness begins to grow as well. The seventh habit is creating closure at the end of the day. Many people go to bed physically tired, but mentally awake. They replay conversations, think about unfinished tasks, worry about tomorrow. Their body rests, but their mind never does. And eventually, stress becomes their normal. But happy people create small rituals of closure. Sometimes they write down tomorrow's tasks. Sometimes they spend a few quiet moments reflecting. Sometimes they simply remind themselves that they have done enough for one day. Because not every problem needs to be solved tonight, and not every answer needs to come immediately. The mind needs permission to rest, and rest is not laziness. Rest is recovery. The truth is, happiness often looks ordinary. It isn't constant excitement. It isn't a perfect life, and it isn't the absence of problems. It's waking up with peace, letting go of things that don't matter, finding joy in simple moments, protecting your attention, and ending the day without carrying unnecessary weight. Small habits, repeated daily, quietly changing everything. Because happiness isn't something waiting for you in the future. It is something you create in the present, one small choice at a time. And maybe that's the beautiful part. You don't need a completely different life to become happier. You only need a few better habits, and over time, those small habits become a happier life. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. And remember this, happiness isn't built in one extraordinary moment. It's built in ordinary moments that you choose to protect every single day.